Clifford, how you doing?
Fine, Rob. How you doing, sir?
Good to see you.
Good to see
Joshua, you're
you.
back for more punishment.
Yes, yes, I need to be surrounded by big brains, bigger brains than
Oh, well, that's debatable. But we'll give everyone a couple. Anyway, I appreciate you guys. Good topic tonight. I want to talk a little bit about minor subdivisions. And in Escambia County, where I am, the rules, if a property's on a county maintained road, so you can take a parcel and divide it into up to 5 parcels, and it's considered a minor subdivision. The paperwork and the process is very easy. It's a matter of getting a survey, showing where the one lot's turned it into 5, and then sending it to the appraiser's office, and then they become 5 separate parcels. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen here. And Henry, bear with me because we already talked about this earlier today.
That's fine.
And can you guys see my screen okay?
Yes.
When I was 10 years old, living in the San Francisco Bay Area, I'd take the bus to Chinatown in San Francisco. And at that time, and it's not legal, but what we'd do, we'd buy what's called a brick of firecrackers, which you can see on the left there, and I'd pay $10 for it. I'd come back across the San Francisco Bay Bridge, and I would sell 1 pack
Mike.
for $1. So I paid 12 and a half cents per pack, or per pack, and I turned around and sold them for $1.
Hey, Michael, I don't think we're seeing your screen. I
We're
can
not
see
seeing the
you.
screen.
Okay.
Can't see your
All right.
screen.
Oh, there we go. That's normal for me, not sharing. But we'll go back here. But I would buy the brick for $10, come under my coat, come back across the bridge, and then I'd sell them in my neighborhood for $1 each. So we'd buy them for 12 and a half cents each, or that brick for $10, and we'd end up getting $80 for it. So it's similar to buying soda. You buy it by the case and you sell it by the can. In this example, it's 55 cents a can, buying it by the case and selling it for $1. With land, and this graphic is off a little bit, it's buying 5 acres for $25,000 and turning around and selling 5 of them for $10,000 each. So basically, we're buying in bulk and we're dividing it up into small pieces and selling them. And sometimes it's hard negotiating with sellers, but a lot of the sellers don't know that their parcels are subdivided. I'm going to show you a few examples of that. This parcel here, it's the one that's in red, and it's the one that's just above it in red. And I bought those two together. And when I bought it, it was one parcel. And we bought it for $8,500. And I sold it about a month later to Habitat for Humanity for $35,000. And what they did, they divided it into 2 lots. So they bought it by the case, and then they're selling it by the can. And you can see here, we bought it, my land family, and sold it to Habitat. And I'm going to show you another example is this property here. Let's see if I've got it here. Yeah. This property here, we bought the one that's in blue and the one that's above it. And we bought that as one parcel. And when we bought that, I bought it for $8,000 and I sold it 2 weeks later to Mr. Bomarito for $24,500. Mr. Bomarito, he went and subdivided it, and he sold one of the parcels for $28,800, and he sold the other parcel for $27,500. We bought it for 8, we sold it for 24. He bought it for 24, and he sold it for $55,000 because he knew how to buy it by the case and sell it by the bottle, or buy it by the crate of firecrackers and sell it by the pack. And so that's just an example on some of the deals that we still made a great profit, but if I would have known more, we could have even probably made another 100 or 200% more. So as I'm going through that, I'm using LandPortal here, and it's a relatively new tool for me. It's very impressive. It's $59 a month, and I'm not encouraging anyone to go out and start spending a bunch of money. But I'm going to show you the filters that I put in within the last hour. I want to search Florida, and Escambia County where I am. I want to search by vacant land, and I want to look for parcels that are 1 acre to 20 acres. So I'm looking for parcels that are from 1 acre to 20 acres. And it says, where do I want these people to live? And I just said, show me people that live out of county, just like doing a prop stream search. And I said, show me people that have owned from 1960 to 2010. So they've owned it for at least 15 years. And I put, I don't want landlocked properties. And I want at least 200 feet of road frontage. And the reason for that is if I bought a parcel and I divided it in half, I would have 2 parcels with at least 100 feet of road frontage. And these are just the filters that I used. I put corporate owned and I put no. And then I applied all that. And here's the list that I came up with. So here on this map, I can show it just on the map here, or I can do a split here. And when I do a split, it's going to show me the 182 properties. And on the map, there's certain areas of Escambia County I like better than others. But I played around with this earlier, and I'm going to show you an example of one that looked good to me. And I'm just going through them one at a time to see, oh, is this a good one for subdividing? And so I pulled up this one, and you can see it's got a lot of road frontage right here. And as I look at it, and it's in the county, and as I look at it, how far is it from this corner to this corner? But I see another one here that has a lot less road frontage. So I was trying to determine, could this be a potential one to subdivide? And so I can take, if I want to, I can take this drawing feature and put a click here just to get an idea how far this is. And it's 553 feet. And so what I thought I could do is do something like this. So basically buy it by the case, or could it be possible to divide it into 3? And that looks like maybe 3 parcels. If I want to look at the details on this, then I would just analyze it to see, does it make sense? So this is the information here. I can see how big the parcel is. It's 4.2 acres. And I can see how it's zoned rural residential. It'll allow mobile homes. People are dying for mobile home sites around here. And so a lot of times then what I'll do just to get additional information, I can see the guy paid $59,000 for it. And in here, I can run a report here and it will tell me what it thinks it's worth. And sometimes when I run these automated reports, it's a tool. I would do additional work. So it thinks it's worth about $81,000. And what I look at see if I can get back to where I was, could I buy it for X amount and then sell it by the piece? So again, here we are. So a lot of times what I do then, just to do additional research, and I'm not great at using this product for comps yet. I'll get better at it. So a lot of times I'll just take this assessor parcel number, and just because I'm better at taking that and putting it into the appraiser's website, just to do additional research. And I can see what it's assessed at right here. Michael Griffith owns it. I can see where he lives. Is he proximate or not? What he paid for it. And so instead of necessarily going out and trying to buy a $20,000 lot for $10,000, in this example, basically what we're doing, it's called forced appreciation. So we're going ahead by taking the case of 24 Cokes or 80 packs of firecrackers and selling it by the pack each. That was forced appreciation. I bought it in bulk. I went ahead and I subdivided the 80 packs of firecrackers and I sold them one at a time. So it's forced appreciation. I haven't done a subdivide, but the minor subdivisions in Escambia County are pretty easy. Again, it has to be on a county road. So if I have one parcel and I divide it into 5, they don't have to come in and put in additional roads or additional infrastructure. It's basically all there. All I'm doing is taking the diagram and going to the county, getting a survey, and dividing it into taking 5 acres and dividing it into 5 1 acres, buying it for 25, selling it for 50 or more. And so that's an example that I just wanted to introduce tonight. And so as I'm going through this here, this is a good tool to help me do that. So I'm going to go back to my list, see if we can do this. And so it's a matter of going through these, and we'll go back to my search here. And so what I coded, it was Escambia County, 1 to 20 acres. And I put OOC, that means they live out of county. They've owned for 15 years or longer. And I came up with, I believe, about 183 of them. I can go through them one at a time, or I can show them. It says show them on the map. I can show them on the map because in my area, there's certain areas of the county way up here, I wouldn't be thrilled. There's certain areas that are more desirable. So if I saw another one here, this one here, and this one I looked at and thought, okay, it's got good road frontage. Could I take it and subdivide it this way, right there? And so as I go through these, it's going through one at a time until I get a little bit better with the tool and just seeing out of these which ones make sense. Go back here. And if you wanted to, you could sort by zip code. Maybe you just want a specific area. Like where I am, there's one zip code that's extremely desirable. We go down here. It's taking a second to load. And then up there, I think I was muted for a sec. But looking at the road frontage here, and this parcel is 12 acres. As you look at some of these smaller ones here, just look at the width of this one. And could I divide this maybe into 1, 2, 3, 4 right there? So what I'd be doing is basically forcing the appreciation. So again, I just take the parcel number to do a little more homework here. But look at the seller's information here. Mr. Hall. It's got 868 feet of road frontage. And this tool right here will also tell me quickly, does it have wetlands? So as you can see here, there's no wetlands. And then I'd look at, he lives in a different county, but not too far away. And so I copy the assessor's parcel number, and I'm just going to go to Escambia County just to gather some more information and getting an idea what's it assessed at. And it shows he paid $107,000 in 1999. I don't know if it may have included additional acreage that he bought there. I'd do some homework on that. And then you go ahead and run comps and what have you. So I'm just trying to look at some of the opportunities that I missed here. When I bought it for $8,000, sold it for $24,500, and Mr. Bomarito turned around and subdivided it, this parcel and this parcel, and turned around and sold it for about $55,000. So that's an overview of it. I haven't done it yet. I've been wanting to do it, but a minor subdivision, it's not where if it's over 5 parcels, then you have to worry about roads and engineering and all this. All I'm doing is getting the survey, having them draw on the boundaries where I want them, taking it to the appraiser's office, and that's the end of the process. I tried to look up the fees today. In the city, it's from $2,000 to $4,000 to do it. In the county, it's a lot cheaper. I'm guessing it would probably be about $2,000 total by the time you pay for the survey and the county, the filing fees and what have you. So I can go back in here.
Michael, in particular, are you looking for mobile home lots?
They're extremely desirable. I'm not specifically looking for them. There are very few as you get towards the city, it's almost impossible. Towards the downtown area, you get more out in the country-ish. So Pensacola, this is a city from here on down. That's the city here. As I start getting up here, it becomes a lot more rural. But I'd love to find one that was an acre or so, or a half acre downtown, or not downtown, in the city.
Yeah.
One like this. and 7 acres. You can see right here, it's almost quite a bit of wetland, so that may not make sense. But just get back to the map.
Somebody had a boathouse, they could set that one on there.
Yeah, so just going through here, a few of these are for sale, a few of them sold, but as I get down here, 13 acres, two acres, and just seeing which ones make sense. I keep working the same market area, so I'm pretty familiar with these, but as I just clicked earlier today, I'm looking at the shape over here on the left too. Some of them are rectangular that would be probably pretty easy to subdivide. We'll go here. So this one's actually a full block right there. One like that may be perfect. And you can see maybe you subdivide it like this. I think I can do 5 as a minor subdivision, but maybe you want to go like this. And so maybe what I'd probably do is maybe do 2 here and 3 here. And it would be a minor subdivision. They all have road access right here. It is 2 acres. And then it says commercial vacant land. It's pretty much residential is probably allowed there as well. And then just look, how long have they owned it? Where do they live? Here's the market value here, 72,000. But if I did 5 parcels here, maybe it's $30,000 a lot. It's $150,000. So I'm going to go ahead back to see if I can find the APN number here. So when I did my search, I pulled up, I don't know, about 180 properties, and I just did out of county. If I would have done in county also, I would have had a lot more here. And then I just go through and do a quick look and see, is it something that makes sense? They own the whole block right there. Look at it. Where do they live? They live in Hawaii. Are the taxes current or are they not? But maybe they think it's worth X amount. Maybe I can force the appreciation by buying it by the case, buying it by the 5 acres and selling it by the 1 acre, or buying it by the case and selling it by the can. So then it's just a matter of continuing to go through these potential leads and seeing which ones make sense. And these people, this is a pretty good lot here. They may have an idea, but see if we can find one that's a little bit smaller. Just keep going here. Try another one. This one's really weird shaped. That obviously wouldn't make sense. So I would just go on to the next one. So the actual process is not that hard. I'm going to go ahead and close some of these drawing features. Here's another one here. This kind of looks like it might be wasteland here. I'm not quite sure. So just going through and filtering. The moral of the story is buy the brick and sell it by the pack. And as you look at the one that Mr. Bomarito did here, we bought it for $8,000, sold it to him for $24,000. He just subdivided it, very easy. They just got a survey and cut it right in half. And he sold one for $27,500, and I think he sold the other one for $28,000. So we made $16,000. He just subdivided it, and he made about $30,000. Any thoughts on that?
Hey, Michael, so the survey is done by the county, or do you bring your own?
Yeah, you bring your own. I work with Habitat for Humanity a lot, and I sold them another property that they subdivided, and I would just call David there and say, who do you use for subdividing? And a fee would be approximately $1,000 for that. The fees with the county are not that expensive. Within the city, the fees are more expensive, but in the county, the regulations are a lot looser. Tried to look it up on the planning and zoning before we got here, and I didn't find it, but I've been down there before and got their subdivision regulations and talked to them over the counter. And they even told me I could go ahead and show them how I wanted to divide it up on a napkin, but I would get a full survey, tell the surveyor exactly how I want it divided, take care of my application fees, and the process would take about 30 days.
Do you pay for each acreage, or you just pay for the survey for everything at one time?
Yeah, I need to get the specific details. I asked ChatGPT and I didn't find it I have the planning and zoning map right here, and land development. And I was trying to find this earlier today. I just ran out of time. Zoning regulations here, exactly what I need to do to subdivide it. but I've talked to him down there a couple times. The Habitat, I've sold 2 lots that they've subdivided. Mr. Bomarito subdivided the lot that we sold him, and we left money on the table. I'm gonna go through my list and just look like what makes sense. And I can see where these people live. These people live in Atlanta or wherever. Further out of the area, maybe more likely. And I can go to the next page here. Try to find someone, quite a bit out of the area. Go to the next page. Albuquerque. 2.35 acres. And let's see what this one looks like. So it's got plenty of road frontage there. And corner lots are great because it gives you more flexibility right there. It's 2.35 acres. Make sure that how it's zoned and what have you. This says commercial, so it might not make sense. Then just do my due diligence. Are they wetlands? And just see if they make sense. And then if I buy it in bulk from the seller and I can go ahead and subdivide it into half-acre parcels, I could get 5 parcels out of this, depending on the configuration as well. So what I'm looking for is what's my road frontage? What are there smaller lots? If they were all larger and mine was the smallest one, it may not make sense.
How
So
do you,
go ahead.
how do you determine if the road frontage meets the minimum? Last year I was looking at a lot and it was like to be able to divide it into 2 lots, it was 30 feet, 25, 30 feet too short to be able to divide. Is that something you find online or you just have to go to the county
Yeah.
and know?
Let me see if I can find those here. Chapter 3 are the zoning requirements for if it's zone low density residential, rural residential. It'll give you a lot of the information here. And if I'm not sure by looking at the planning and zoning guide, I just call them. And it's very easy and it's very easy to get a hold of them.
Yeah, that's what I did. I ended up calling and
Yeah. Here's the department directory and it's got all the people here. I deal with Christina right here. She's the one I usually deal with here. And if I click on her, I believe it's going to give me her email too.
looks like it.
Yeah,
Popped up your
it just
email.
typically send them an email. So sometimes I'm looking at lots and they're going to look at this same resource as well, but I just like to call them and verify it. But I'll do it by email too. So I've emailed Christina and she's got back to me and says, yes, you can put mobile homes on this lot or not. So I've got what she's told me from planning and zoning in writing. And sometimes I'll just go in directly, takes 2 minutes, sit down there and talk to them, tell them what I'm trying to do. And they'll usually ask me the parcel and I'll just go ahead and send them the parcel ID right here and tell them what I'm trying to do. Like this one's zone HCLI. If I went to the zoning code under land development code, chapter 3, and I don't know exactly where it is on here, but somewhere on here it's going to be HCLI. It's right here, heavy commercial, light industrial. But if I get to a specific zoning, it's going to tell me exactly what's allowed under that zoning. What are the setbacks? So even this one tells me what uses are allowed. You can have single family, you can have duplexes, what have you, building requirements. So most of it's in here. And again, if I get stuck, I want to verify it.
Okay.
Yeah, where I am, here's rural residential. And under rural residential, it allows manufactured mobile homes
Yep.
right here. So I know that's allowed. Even cemeteries are allowed. So it's just a matter of going through the planning and zoning and then following up with them.
Okay.
What I do in the city, most of mine are medium density residential or low density residential, but it's a medium, low density mixed use, medium density. So those are the ones that I primarily deal with. And I was trying to find the specific minor subdivision in the document. I just didn't have time to find it.
Yeah.
And I asked ChatGPT about the fees. It found the fees for the city, minor subdivision fees, Escambia County. So here, this was for the city, and I could see what they were, about $4,000 for four parcels. But in the county, they couldn't find the information on the line. Contact the County Development Services, Planning and Zoning.
Sure.
But I know it's not significant. It'd probably be $2,000 to take a 1 acre parcel and divide it into 4 quarter-acre parcels. So a little bit different topic than typically we're talking about infill lots or some more rural type properties. And just understanding the information, being good at the information, and then just seeing which ones make sense here. And then it's just a matter of contacting them, and we can offer more to what market value is for their parcel in its current configuration. We're just buying their case from them at the case price, and they're getting close to market value, so it makes it a little bit easier to negotiate. Here, these people live in Chico, California.
They're gonna probably want to move to the new lot and build something pretty quick.
Yeah. And then I would look at how long have they owned it. This is going to be wetlands right here, probably. Watch. Yep, wetlands. And that's just from knowing my market there. And as you can see here, the one just to the left of it, that is half the size of this one right here. So this one could probably be pretty easily subdivided into 2 parcels. And they live in California. Let's see. I just grabbed the assessor's parcel number. And they probably don't know that it can be subdivided.
As long as there's room enough to build the house towards the front and get the setback in.
Yeah, the wetlands, it's not ideal because it does have wetlands. So this is just as an example though. And then I would see what is their situation? What's it assessed at? It was quit claim to them 24 years ago. They live in California. The people that are on title may be deceased because the mail is going to a relative in California. And I wouldn't be surprised if the taxes are delinquent. Nope, they're paid on time. So you've got the property. Again, they may be deceased. Let's just say, assume it wasn't wetlands, then, and they're deceased, we could go ahead and take care of the probate for them, potentially subdivide it. It's got 400 feet of road frontage there. And as you look here, this one right here is exactly half the size right there.
Yep.
So that would be a good example of one that would potentially make sense to subdivide. And the other thing that I would look at here is, since it does have the wetlands here, and you can see that nobody's built on these other parcels right here. So I would probably move on to the next one. Had one under contract that was 100% wetlands here, and we couldn't sell it, so we passed on the contract. But that was a good example just from going through the list, finding one that may make sense. So that's really what I wanted to share, was just minor subdivisions. I've missed opportunities, which I showed you. The one we sold to Mr. Bomarito for $24,000, he subdivided it and turned around and sold both for $55,000 total. So by subdividing, he made an extra $30,000. Ones with Habitat that we could have made more money. And I was doing, when I did my filters, I did from 1 acre to 20 acres. When I went ahead and filled this out, if I was doing a little bit more in the city, I might search as even 1 acre or less. Because if it's a half acre, exactly, well, the one that I sold to Habitat, that parcel was a half acre, and they divided it into two quarter acre parcels. You can put your parameters, and for this process, I put it 1 acre to 20 acres. If I was doing infill lots, I could put from a half acre to maybe an acre and a half, and find opportunities like the one that we sold to Habitat. That was right in the city. Let's see if I can put it back here. That was this parcel right here. Yeah, you can see, and so Habitat subdivided it, and it was about 0.55 acres, just about a half acre, and they divided it into 2, and then they built. This is the Habitat product that they built on the lot that I sold them that they divided it into two. They put two houses on there.
Hey, Michael, how did you find out that they subdivided your assignment or your?
Yeah, I'll show you. Because when I bought it, it was the one parcel in red and the one below it right here. And let me see. It's trying to load. It had an error, but let me try one more time. Yeah, this is when we sold it to them. And if I can find the deed. Yeah, so when I bought it, it was one parcel. And when I sold it to them, here's parcel A and here's parcel B. So they took my one parcel and divided it into two. And this is one of the two right here. So they took it, divided it into two. And that is, they put one house on one lot and one on the other one right there. So sometimes by going to the recorder and looking at the actual document, I can see what they did right there.
They sell the houses for, they put on the property.
Yeah, they sold this house for $238,000. So it started off I bought it for 8, they bought it for 35, divided it into two and sold this property for 238. And see if I can find the parcel below. And here's the other one here. This one they built on and they sold this one for 220. So by the time I bought it in April, I sold it to them in May. And it took about a year and a half later till they sold the finished product. And this is the second one there.
So what got you thinking about, besides you used to sell fireworks by the pack, buying the brick? When, how, what was the process of you getting to think about doing that with land? Is that something you've been doing for a while, or just you found that some people that you sold to were doing this and you said, if it's only a couple $1,000s, I'll do it?
Yeah, I've been thinking about doing the subdivision for actually a couple of years. And I
Okay.
thought I could do parcels up to 100 acres, but I don't want to do a major subdivision. I like short projects, just do it and I'm done and I'm on to the next one. So a major subdivision, you're probably talking millions of dollars and you're putting in street and you're having engineers.
Oh, yeah.
So I found out the county has minor subdivisions and major subdivisions. The minor subdivision project process is very simple, it's not costly, and it's quick. And so you're forcing the appreciation. So I can go to a seller and maybe instead of giving them 60% of market value, I can give them 90% of market value of the whole case.
Yep.
But then I just go ahead and divide it into one pack of firecrackers. One pack instead of 80. And so same theory.
Yeah. Yep.
And it's a matter of running the comps and seeing, okay, what do 5-acre parcels sell for?
So
And
that's something that I should check on with the county and or the city here to see if they do minor subdivisions, and if they do, what's the maximum or minimum lot sizes that they work with?
Yeah, I would just ask, I would start with ChatGPT and just ask, can I do minor subdivisions in whatever county?
Okay.
And here it said county doesn't list a published minor subdivision fee like the city. So it's a pretty easy process to get through. Would you like help drafting an email to them? I'm locating the forms on their site. And so what I could do is just go ahead and send an email to Christina. Can she email me the minor subdivision application? So anyway, it's food for thought. I love infill lots. I love what we do. I see the opportunities that I missed, and it would just be another niche. You can have less competition than people. We're buying one lot and we're selling it. It's not an extensive process. It's not costly. It's just identifying the right candidates and then, like normal, doing some marketing. You find the people that are in their 70s and they live out of the area and they've owned it for 25 years, and I can offer them 90% of market value or 85 or whatever it is, looking at the size of these parcels here. And I could go ahead and download this in a spreadsheet too. And then just going through which ones may make sense. So out of these approximately 200, maybe 40 of them make sense. And there might be a couple deals in there.
Michael, how do you like the land portal?
So far, I'm very impressed with it. What I like about it, it's very easy to find a property by, much easier than PropStream to find one by APN. Here you just put in the city, the state, and the county and put in the APN. PropStream's a pain. And it's great for wetlands and flood zones if some counties don't have that easily available. Here, it's very easy to go ahead and do very quickly. I haven't got into, and they have this report here. If we click on a parcel, this one here, and I can run this report and verify it, but it will give you a value, like a Zillow. It will give you a value for the land.
Really?
Yeah, and it will take a second to get it, but sometimes it doesn't know. Let's say property's on a canal and that's very desirable. And this might not know that, so it may miss the value. But one we sold for, I don't know, 21,000, and it came up with a value of 25,000. It was pretty quick. Here's some previous ones I've done. Here, West Mallory Street here. We bought this property for $10,000 and sold it for $15,900 3 years ago, $21,840. If I took this here, that's probably pretty close right there, that value. So good tool. Here's comps right here. And so I'm not an expert at it yet. I played around with it. I need to dig a little bit deeper. Jeff, who was on our Zoom earlier today, he uses it frequently. He's much better at it. He did say you can find properties where the mail is going in care of someone. So the parents may be not healthy, they may be deceased, but the mail was going in care of. And Jeff did say you could pull a list in here. You could pull a list where the mail is going in care of. And many times those properties need to go through probate, or the kid is getting the tax bill, and many times that could be a good opportunity. So I haven't been able to figure out how to do that yet. It's $59 a month. My suggestion is everyone keep their expenses low. You can run comp reports right here. How sloped is it? Everything's pretty level where I am, but how sloped properties are could be a factor as well. So they said these people live in Palm Harbor, just it's an acre. And I would look at, this looks like subdivision-y here, right here. And could that one potentially be split in half right there? It's in Estelle's name. That sounds like a name from many years ago. How sloped is it? What the elevation is right here? What's it assessed at? So this one looks, on the surface, this looks very appealing to me. The city it's in is not the most desirable part of the county where I am. So I would just copy it, go to Escambia County, paste it, search. So she lives in Florida. It's assessed at $6,200. It was quit claim to her 37 years ago. She's out of the area. Look at her taxes real quick. And if I downloaded this list and I had it in a tool like Pebble, and I already had my letter in there, I could just click and have the letter go out right there. But she pays her taxes on time, but she probably doesn't know. And again, I get too many windows open here, that this is probably subdividable right there. So that would be one that I would be interested in right there. Estelle's owned it for 37 years. She lives out of the area. She's probably never going to do anything with it. It's assessed at $7,000. And I could go to, again, I got way too many windows open here.
Easy to do.
And then very quickly, I could probably look at comps, and it's the area this is in, it's called Century. It's not the most desirable area, but I could go ahead and look at, here's some comps right here. This one here, $12,000. And then I could look at this here. It's assessed at the same amount as the one that I was looking at. The guy paid $12,000 for it a year ago, 80 feet wide. And let's see if we can find her dimensions. Dimensions. There we go. So that's 80 feet wide, sold for 12,000. This is 164 feet wide and plus, so I could get two good rectangles or rectangle and another little odd shape right there and say, okay, 24,000, Estelle, it's assessed at 6,200. She lives out of the area and she's had it for 37 years. That would be a perfect example. I would offer her I'd offer her the assessed value, $6,273. I'd pay all closing costs. And then I'd turn around and try to sell it for 24. So I'm gonna have to watch a recording tomorrow and rewatch this and mail her a letter. And I can look at, it was quit claim to her 37 years ago, probably from one family member to another, could have been parents, I don't know. So that would be an example. That would be a great one right there. So that is an overview of subdividing. I haven't gone through the full process, but I've noted ones that we left money on the table, which I'm not going to worry about that, but I see some additional opportunity. And you can sort these by acreage, I could pull a list of people that live out of state. I just did a list of people that live out of county. So any additional thoughts on that? We can go deeper on another session. And I believe if I download this, just export it and download it, I can sort maybe by parcel size, find out what's a little bit better. Like here, Molino is a great area right here. This is a great area. See if it made sense.
So if you download that file, you have a GPT set up to go through and do the evaluation for you. Sizes and so on, come up with that?
Maybe. I kind of migrate to my appraisal background, but this one here probably isn't subdividable. Just, it's got such a small road frontage right here, and it's so deep. You could use the drawing tool or look at it on the appraiser website.
Michael, what did you say you needed for frontage? Approximately.
Yeah, I would think the minimum width of a lot you can build on is pretty much 30 feet in Escambia County. But for this purpose, I would use the minimum of 50 feet. So if I'm going to do a search, I'm going to do a search that I want the property to have at least 100 feet of road frontage.
Because you want to get at least two lots.
Yeah. So when I went back, I think I saved my search. When I did this earlier, I saved my search parameters, I believe. It's just spinning. And it depends if you're out in the country but an easy way to tell is you look at the width of this lot here and you look north of it here. And so the one in red probably can't be subdivided. The other ones that were above it, it looks like someone may have subdivided those.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, these were my parameters. Escambia County, 1 to 20 acres, out of county, 15 years or longer. I came up with 183. And then as I added my filters in there, I think I put in there road frontage. I may have put 200 feet. I don't recall if it was 100 or 200 feet. So it would depend. If it was in the country, I'd want a little bit bigger parcels. If it's in the infill lot, I'd be comfortable with 50-foot road frontage. So it's just a matter of, this recording will be in the library tomorrow. And it's just a matter of playing around with it. If someone doesn't have the LandPortal and they want to just Zoom with me, I'm happy to get on here and we can just find an area and play around with it just to go through the process.
Good stuff.
Yeah. So a little bit different than what we normally do, but showed you the ones that I should have subdivided and hopefully a few in the future there. And that one of Estelle's, that is a perfect example. Probably 80 years old, lives out of the area, owned it for 37 years, great comps right across the street. It's assessed at 6,200. Even if I ended up at 10,000, that would be okay. Yeah.
You'd still
Derek-
make money.
Yeah. Derek, go ahead.
Yeah, I just had a quick question. As far as when it comes to pretty much going direct and just making an offer. So just tell me, how would you go about making an offer if, like you said, trying to keep it cost effective right now? And so what would be, or how would you send out offers, I guess, manually?
Yeah, there's the process of valuing the property, and then there's the process of getting the offer to them. Valuing the property, I would go ahead, we're running comparables, finding like the one we just did of Estelle's. I had good comps across the street for 7,000 and 12,000. So I can determine the value. As far as how to get her the offer, you know, a couple things. Sometimes I'll just send a piece of mail just saying we're interested in making you an offer. Sometimes I'll send a piece of mail with the actual offer price on it. And then the third example would be I just call her up. I would skip trace her. I can get her phone number in about 2 minutes. I'd call her up, just introduce myself and say, I see you have this property in Century. You know, it looks exactly what we're looking for. Would you consider entertaining an offer? It's very non-pushy. It's just, would you think about maybe listening to us and start the dialogue with her, build some rapport. And then what I'd say to her, I'd say, I see that the county has it valued at $6,200. And the county assessor's value is typically very low, but I just throw that out there. I see that the county has it valued at $6,200 and wait and see what her response is. And she might go, I'll take that. I said, that would be great. I explained the process to her, and then I would send her a formal offer. So one is valuing the property, and the other one is presenting the offer.
Yeah, so I guess more so like presenting the offer. That's what I mean. Like you said, you would send it by mail. Do you do like any DocuSigns or anything?
Yeah, we do it by DocuSign. We send an offer for one of our teammates. He's actually lives in Nigeria. So we sent the offer for him, and we send it to his seller by DocuSign. And it's a tool. There's an annual fee, but I like DocuSign because I can look at it and see if they've opened it up and looked at it. And I know now that they've received it and looked at it.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you just do it by mail.
Most of ours, if they have an email address, I can send it to them by DocuSign. We have one gentleman, he agreed to our price. He went quiet. So I got a big orange envelope and we hand wrote it and we just mailed it to him because I wanted it to get his attention, have him open it up. And that one, we actually sent him the offer.
Okay.
Yeah, 99% of the people have the email. They can do it by DocuSign. Occasionally, we'll have someone that you actually need to mail them the contract.
All right.
Michael, I've got a prop stream question for you.
Yeah.
So when you would look up the land and you look under the land location information, there's an APN and then there's an old alternate APN. I have never gotten either of those numbers to give me any results. Do you ever use those, and are they working for you?
I'm trying to load it right now. It's not loading. I don't use that frequently. Typically, I'll use PropStream for research and building list and finding buyers, but I'll typically get my APN right off the appraiser's website.
Yeah, I'm on the Tennessee Controller of the Treasury, Murray County, and the search term is property address, owner name, or parcel ID. Parcel ID is the APN.
Yeah,
So,
and if you look at my screen, there's two numbers here. The parcel ID is the APN. The account number, that's the number from the tax assessor that's associated with the property.
okay. And the parcel numbers in PropStream they always have a big space between them. So should I eliminate that space to make it work?
I'm trying to load it. I would just give it a try. I don't know. Sometimes when I copy from PropStream and I put it in the appraisers, sometimes one of them will have dashes and spaces and the other one won't. So sometimes I have to clean it up a little bit.
Yeah, that didn't work. No, maybe a dash.
I don't know why PropStream's not loading right now, but it's not.
Okay. Try to figure out how to make that work. I'm just,
Either that or just shoot me a message tomorrow when my PropStream's working. We'll hop on.
okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
So anyway, buy it by the brick, sell it by the pack.
Good thing to remember with the 4th of July coming up.
Yeah, we had a 800% markup. But anyway, I appreciate you guys. Any last questions?
Who else do you use besides PropStream? Do you have a skip tracing company, like an independent skip tracing, that you don't have to have a
Yeah, there's a
monthly subscription?
There's a few ways that I do it. In PropStream, you can skip trace right in PropStream. I think it's 10 to 15 cents a record.
Yeah, 12 cents, I think.
Yeah, and if you want to do one at a time, you can use cyberbackgroundchecks.com right here. It's free and you can do one at a time. And they're going to try to upsell you to another product. If you use Deal Machine, has free skip tracing in Deal Machine. It's another subscription product. And I've got a few other ones that are paid. I've got another one that if you have a list, you download it from PropStream, we can send it to this other service. It's 12 cents a record, but it's going to give you the age of the people, the marital status. It's going to tell you their annual income. It's going to give you their net worth. It's going to give you email, phone numbers, credit scores. So a lot more information. So sometimes I'll do a campaign on people that are 65 or over, and that tool allows that. I outsource that to another company. It's called Lead Mining Pros. And you can message me if you want to dig into the skip tracing tools, but this one right here, Cyber Background Checks, and it's plural.com. This is free. I put my brother's name in there and I had a cell phone in 2 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah. And then then I have one last one I use, but it costs $1.75 a search. It's called IDI Core, but I only run that one when I'm going to make an offer to people because it does a background on them. And so I could have 2 identical lots side by side, and I may offer one guy 10,000 and the next guy 6,000 because I'm running their criminal history. I'm running bankruptcies, liens, judgments, criminal history, business licenses, and more. And I see the guy's been arrested 20 times. My offer is going to be a lot lower.
Got it.
Yeah, so we can dig into skip tracing more as well, but that's an overview of the minor subdivisions, which are pretty easy. I would just go into ChatGPT and just say, tell me about minor subdivisions in whatever county you're working. What are the rules for minor subdivisions? What are the fees and what have you? And ChatGPT will probably, I already put in minor subdivisions for Escambia County. It didn't like it. But anyway, I just go ahead and use ChatGPT. Or get online and see if you can find the planning and zoning guideline for your county if you don't want to talk to anyone there. And otherwise, just call the planning and zoning department, talk to someone there and see if they can send you their application for a minor subdivision. It'll tell you exactly what you need to do. So good session tonight?
Yes.
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 Okay. Anyway, it's another opportunity. We can offer the people closer to market, and we're forcing the appreciation by buying it by the crate and selling it by the pack.
Yes.
All righty, guys. I appreciate you.
Thank
Just
you.
shoot me a message if you need anything.
Thank
And this
you.
will be in the library tomorrow.
Okay.
Thank you,
All right.
Mike.